Hi everybody, it's me, Jen, aka Misplaced Moo. I built a tattoo shop. I built this in the New World in the industrial zone. This is a little tattoo shop. It has two different places or two different benches. It also has a section for giving lectures and classes, and it has an upstairs area that is employees only with an office and a little kitchenette and a bathroom that's private just for employees. I really had a great time building this tattoo shop. I want to get a tattoo so bad, but I don't know what I want to get, and my fear is getting the wrong things. I've been procrastinating, but all this kit did was make me want to, not kit, I'm sorry, all this expansion pack did was make me want to get a tattoo. This is a modern slash industrial building. I did build the bulk of the building before I got the pack because I wanted to just have this video be shorter, in all honesty. I really like the way that this building turned out. I had a really good time messing around with all of the build by and the windows. And I think that the new base game windows play really well with the new windows we got in this pack. This pack is really interesting because we have a lot of modern Scandinavian inspired furniture, which I feel like has been missing in the game for a long time. So I'm super glad that we finally got some Scandinavian inspired furniture. I love the new wallpapers and floors. I think that there's so many interesting, fun elements, and I did actually play with this for a while. I had my sim own a tattoo shop, and I have to say, it's really pretty good. Um, it is a little bit buggy, but I think that's just the way every Sims pack is because those Sims have a mind of their own. They want to do their own thing. That's just how they are. They don't always play along the way we want them to. But they were able to make money, give tattoos. He was able to give a class. People did not sit on the stools I provided. They just stood around, but he was able to give the class. It is kind of cool because he can run one tattoo booth and then he can hire somebody to run the other tattoo booth or have a family member. Just so you know, when you do get this pack, if you want to have a business, there's two different types of businesses that you can do, and I did a whole video about this. I'll have it linked, how to set up a business, just in case you were confused, because when I first got this pack I was hella confused. So this is the downstairs area. I wanted it to be light and bright and kind of modern and sleek. um, Originally I was going to use this darker wallpaper because I thought it was black, and then I realized it was a very dark green and that was not the vibe, so I changed it out. It took me a while to wallpaper this area. But so there's two different types of small businesses that you can have. You can have a small business that is just on your lot, like say a daycare center, a hairdresser, or even a tattoo place that is just on your lot where you live. Or you can have a small business venue, which is on a public lot. This is a small business venue. You can hire people, and you can only hire people that you know. So you can hire family members or friends, but you have to know them. So you're going to have to make some friends if you want to get employees if you're a single sim. You can also dictate what jobs these people do, and you could dictate like what kind of uniform they wear. So there's a lot of customization. I think that there are so many interesting businesses that are coming out. I think that it would be super fun to do like a senior center, like maybe a place for old people to gather, like a seniors recreation center. I think that would be a fun business. A yoga studio would be a fun business, providing you have the packs involved. I really wanted to do something fun with the floor up here. I was just feeling super creative, and these are some new swatches we got for cement flooring, which I think is really cool. I'm continuing that into the bathroom, but you just couldn't see at that moment because there was a light, or there was no light, I should say. So I think that you can do a daycare center, yoga studio, you can do kind of restaurants, bakeries. There's so many different things. I've seen a bunch of people build like wine bars and like vineyards, which I think is so cool. There's so many fun, interesting ideas. And I love that about the game, that you can really do a lot with this pack. I feel like not every expansion pack is worth purchasing. And I'm going to be honest, there's some packs that I purchased that I never use or that just aren't as good as you think. And I feel like this pack is really, it gives you a lot of flexibility. Um, it doesn't promise that everything is going to go perfectly, and a lot of times your Sims will act on their own accord, but you have the flexibility to choose the activities that they do at the business. You can do like a bar slash tattoo studio, or like a um, gym slash yoga studio. You have a lot of flexibility in that realm, and I think that that's kind of cool. I love that flooring. That is a cement flooring with a design in it. I just think it's so cool. I wanted this to be a small-ish business, because I wanted this to be for somebody that was maybe had a young business, didn't have like a ton of room. I wanted to keep it small. I wasn't really sure how everything was going to go, and I wasn't really sure. So I didn't want to overwhelm myself with a build that was too big. Also, I feel like this sink slash table setup, that they should have just given us counters. Like, why would you not give us counters? That would have been such a perfect situation. And just in case you were wondering, you cannot use that table as a counter. It slots perfectly against the sink, but you cannot use it as a counter. And I wanted it to work as a counter so bad. I love these chairs. I love this desk. I think it took me a second to realize that that desk needed a stool. See how nice they slot together? Why couldn't that work as a counter? That would have been so perfect. Why, Sims team? Why? I was just so sad about not being able to put a microwave up there. But this is like the little kitchenette area. I think I did eventually get rid of that table and put something else in there. So far with the business pack, I've built a couple of different things. I built a daycare center. I don't have these uploaded yet, so this is the first one I'm uploading. But a daycare center. I built an arts center, um, with like an art studio, art center, and this is the tattoo shop. I really, really had a lot of fun building this and building the other businesses that I built. I feel like this is a pack that really lets your creativity go crazy. And I think there's something really interesting about that, because part of The Sims is being able to just let your mind go, and being able to have so many different types of businesses. It just makes it so much more enjoyable. And this is kind of a virtual dollhouse, and a lot of us play this game and use our imagination to create scenarios, and we've all been doing pretend businesses forever. And being able to own your own gym, bowling alley, spa, being able to own your own like little restaurant, tea house, tattoo parlor, bakery. I think that is such an interesting element. And this is very different than Get to Work. So when you do Get to Work, you can, if you have Get to Work, if you have that pack, which is a fun pack. I don't really own a lot of businesses with Get to Work. I mostly use it to be a police officer or a doctor. Those are my two favorite careers, and I really enjoy letting my Sims do that. But with Get to Work, if you did want to have your own business, you would really only be able to sell things. Here, you can sell things, but you can also teach, do activities, host activities. Like, there's so many more opportunities. You can just let people hang out and watch TV. I know Nard Villain, who is somebody I really love. If you have not checked him out, please check him out. He does great stuff. Nard Villain built a movie theater, and I cannot wait to build a movie theater. That is definitely on my bucket list. I've been building Sims movie theaters for like ever, since like The Sims 2. Um, these stools, they did not sit on them. I wanted them to sit on those stools so badly, and they didn't. I feel like Sims just have an aversion to sitting. I don't know what that is, but like, you can put a TV on and they'll stand and watch TV, or you can have a wedding and they'll stand and watch the wedding. Like, they just don't want to sit for whatever reason. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a little bit buggy. It's not perfect, but can you have a career and make money? Yes. Can you go to work every day and fulfill your dream of being a yoga instructor or whatever? Absolutely. It doesn't work perfectly, but it works well enough that it's enjoyable. I actually have not had a chance to play with the ceramics aspect yet. Um, so I haven't had a chance to play with that, but I do want to get involved there. But I've played with tattoos a lot, and I think that the tattoos are super fun, and it's fun to be a tattoo artist. It's fun to have like a new way of getting tattoos. I remember in The Sims 3 when Ambitions came out, they had a tattoo chair. I kind of like the table better. I do wish that the animation was a little bit better. Like I feel like no matter what kind of tattoo you get, they just work on your stomach, and I feel like I don't know. I guess I'm asking for too much, but it would have been nice to show them working on different parts of the body. I do like that you can layer tattoos and you could paint on tattoos and have more customization. I think that that's really interesting. And I like that you can do special things, and it just makes your Sims have so much more personality, and you can really dedicate a tattoo to like their child or their wife or whatever. And that's what I did with my Sim. He owned a tattoo parlor, and he got like two little tattoos representing his kids and one for his wife, and she got a tattoo for him. It was just like really fun to design and create these custom tattoos for each other. It was kind of cool. I liked it. This tile is really pretty as well. I don't think I would ever use that tile in like a big space. Like it feels kind of overwhelming, hurts my eyes a little bit. But in a small space like a bathroom, I love it. I think it's really cute. Maybe a little tiny kitchen. Um, it could work. So this is the private bathroom upstairs. And even though there's no door separating the employee area, you just walk up the stairs, it still counts as employees only. And I didn't have people running up there. So you should know, just so you know, that you can only designate the areas when the sim is on the lot and the business is closed. You cannot designate areas. So just make sure you do that before you open up the business, because if you don't, you're going to have your sims going everywhere. I'm using that new pendant light that came with base game. I left this wall blank because my thought process was that if you are a tattoo artist, you're going to eventually design your own tattoos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day.